What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall markets. Just notes that I am not a financial planner, so make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $2,000 and you're guaranteed 30. And the offer is very soon at the end of March. Anyways, as far as the market's going, I just want to mention that we're seeing a very, very nice uptrend on SPY as we're making higher highs and higher lows. We're at this upper trend line of resistance. We'll see if this causes a dip or not, but ultimately we are still going to be bullish. Whether we get a small dip or not, this is still looking very, very strong. So what's happening today? We just got initial jobless claims. Everything was very close to expectations. At 11:30 a.m., we have the 4 and 8 week bill auctions coming in, which could cause more volatility. Besides that, there's nothing else that's too significant. I also want to mention that for today, we had Peloton announce their earnings. The share price is exploding right now. And after market close, we have Amazon announcing their earnings, which is going to be very important. So get ready for that. Peloton is seeing their shares surge 13%. I think it's up like 18% right now. So it's even more bullish because of the fact that they actually had some good guidance, if anything. I think it's very important to remember that. Excuse me, moving forward, their loss per share is at 24 cents versus 18 cents expected. So not the best, at least right over there. However, looking at their revenue overall, that was above expectations. And the net loss for the last 3 months was actually below expectations. So that's still not as bad as what people were expecting. And then besides that, I would say that despite that, they have good guidance, which is suggesting that they are doing what they can to help increase their revenue and they're trying to get closer to profitability very soon. This is what got investors very, very hyped up. So that's good news for Peloton. That's why the share price is up quite a bit. And they could be looking to see their revenue stabilize by the end of the year, which is very, very promising for these investors. So what's happening with the markets? As a reminder, we're going to be looking at the 605 area on SPY. It's possible we just rocket up to about 609 from here, but I would like, okay, because we're at this upper trend line, I would like to see a little decline by like 1.5 points before we before we continue to push higher for that 609 area. I would like something like this. Not a guarantee we get that pullback, but it's always a possibility. We are seeing some indices showing signs of that, but then overall the market remains bullish nonetheless. Whether we get a small decline or not, okay, whether it's a 1 point pullback or we barely pull back, this is ultimately looking like it wants to go for 609 very soon. As long as we're above 605, we favor that, bullish setup. If 605 fails and we can't hold above it, we're looking for support closer to about the 602.5 area. My prediction is that we're going to be pushing to 609. Whether we get a small decline and then push, or if we just push from here, we'll be watching that very, very closely. On the QQQ, very similar setup. As long as we hold support here, it's possible we decline just a little bit. We retest like the 526s for a small dip, and then we start pushing slowly for 528s and eventually the 530 area. If we were to lose 525, we're looking for 522 support, which is where we could be dipping. As long as you hold support, this could be pushing higher for 528 or above, so just keep that in mind. For the Russell 2000, okay, we have this 230 area as our resistance. And if anything, just know that there's an inverse head and shoulders like structure. We have a left shoulder, a head, and then a right shoulder. If 230 breaks, we're looking for an attempt for 232. If we end up losing 226.8, we're looking for a decline. So with this inverse head and shoulders, we're looking bullish, and I think that there's a good chance that we will be pumping even more. For ES is looking bullish right over here as we're trying to break out. We're at the upper trend line of resistance. This is looking a lot stronger than NQ. We'll be watching, does this just straight up, go up and does it even like try to invalidate this rising wedge? Does it just push up without any decline back up to about the 6,125 area? It's possible it just goes straight up like that. It's also possible that we get a small decline here at this double resistance that we have to about 60.80 before we continue to push up to about the 61.22s or above, right? Could go either way. So both of these are strong possibilities, but overall, I would say that ES looks bullish nonetheless. So just keep that in mind. NQ already got a small decline here, so it's looking very healthy, right? We're kind of like retesting the support, then we could easily bounce here and just start to slowly inch our way up higher for like the 2100 900s or above. If we end up losing 2100 600, we could be dipping back down. But overall, we're holding support very nicely. I think this could continue to uptrend. For Bitcoin, we have resistance to watch for at 99,800. And if we lose the support, we could be dipping back down. So just to be very, very frank, we might try to break this blue trend line of resistance here. As long as we're above this, Bitcoin could be going back up for the 100,000 mark. On Nvidia, I just want to say we have 126 as our resistance. We might shuffle a bit here, but as long as we break this, I think that we could be getting very close to about the 130 area. Nvidia is looking very bullish right now. It's doing a great job at holding up above its key levels. As long as we don't end up losing our supports, which happens to be right down here around this 122 area, as long as that does not fail us, this will likely continue to push even higher. So Nvidia is looking very, very promising. Great setup so far. It was due for a bounce. We were talking about this in my earlier videos, especially as we were looking for signs of it to base after, the big pullback that came with all the news about tariffs and such. So overall, good job by Nvidia. It looks bullish to me, and we'll see if this gets a nice continuation. For Tesla, however, this is not looking too good to me. It looks lackluster. It's been rejecting quite a bit, and I think that there's going to be a retest of 370 coming. Now, we'll see if buyers could defend it like they did earlier. If they come back, that's going to be a very, very big test on Tesla. However, it still looks bearish, at least for now. I want to see it, just to be very frank, break 375 to turn bullish. Then we're looking for a big rebound. If we can't get back above 375, watch this 370 support. We'll have to see if this holds or not. If it doesn't hold 370, we're going to be dumping to like 365 or lower. Why is Tesla dumping? Because there's news about their European sales declining. This is just for the month of January. We are seeing European, even American sales declining. Not the best of news for them, but it could be that many of these buyers are waiting for the Model Y refresh. They could be waiting for other factors. So that could be what's influencing Tesla for now. So we'll see. An Apple, we have an inverse head and shoulders like structure. This could decline just a little bit like this before it tries to break out higher for like 235. We'll see if we could try to get back above 232 to remain bullish. Might decline a little bit first before we get that bounce. On AMD, we're looking for an attempt to get up to 114, so we'll see if that ends up happening. For coin, we're just range bound here. We do have a gap to fill down here, so it's possible that we kind of like decline like this before it tries to like bounce, so just keep that in mind. For Amazon, run a nice uptrend. We have to see if we could try to hold above 237. As long as that holds, we're looking for 240 as our potential targets. For Meta, we're riding above our EMAs nicely. As long as 700 holds, we could be looking for the 710s. Microsoft is trying to retest its resistance. It's barely holding up right now. I do expect a lot of choppy price action, but maybe after Amazon's earnings, it could be making a bigger move. It looks like it wants to kind of chop around the 410 to 413 area before it slowly uptrends for like 415. I'll be watching that very, very slowly. And then for Google, we're barely holding 191. If it doesn't hold us, we have 189. I hope it bases in this range between 189 and 191 before it tries to bounce. Otherwise, it's looking a little bit lackluster this morning. It looks like it might just see a lot of shuffling. So with that being said, the indices, our ETFs look bullish. SPY is looking bullish right now. Whether we get a breakout straight up to about 609 is very possible, or if we get a small pullback first, that would be very healthy. I would prefer that, but we'll see just to be safe. So that being said, guys, I want to thank you all so much for listening. So please have a good rest of your day, and we'll be very, very patient. Thank you for listening, and peace out.